And welcome back as we continue on day 4 of CMA Industry Week. First part of this day, spending time with our friends at Metra Electronics, and we're breaking it down, category by category. I'm your host, Ben Wu, of course, and joining me for this session is our Canadian sales manager for Metra, Mr. Gatlin Sandu. Hey, Gat.
Hello, back again. Thanks, Ben.
Going real good so far, getting our education and our learn on, segment by segment. This one's pretty cool. This one, we're going to focus on a vehicle-specific brand under the Metra umbrella.
This is our brand, Saddle Tramp. And so Saddle Tramp is yet another brand under the Metra umbrella that primarily focuses on Harley-Davidsons.
Yes.
And so, those guys on their Harley-Davidsons like to, rock hard and be seen and, have all the options available to them, not just from the Harley-Davidson dealer, but from our brand Saddle Tramp. We have a lot of different products that we're going to discuss today, whether through slide and video. Again, we've got Jason and Aaron at our Metra studio in Florida. Hello, guys. Thanks for joining me yet again.
Ooh.
And they have a wide variety of products in front of them that we're going to discuss and go over and talk about. Again, we try to jam as much information as we can into these hour segments. And, as we're finding that we're, not able to get all the information in there. So I want to encourage people, of course, to always go on our website at metraonline.com, click on that catalog segment at the very top there, and just view all the different catalogs and all the different products that are available from Metra. And, kind of just look at the catalog, see, whether it be from lighting or handlebar light ends or saddlebag covers, speaker extensions, harnesses, plug and play RGB lighting kits, all the fun stuff from Harley-Davidson that we can offer. We're there. We got it all.
And join the conversation on Facebook. Metra's got some people on there answering questions and expanding on our dialogue. So Team Metra, Jay and Aaron, Harley-Davidson.
Yeah.
Small little category these days, huh?
No, big time. Yeah. Harley-Davidson has a following like the Jeeps. Jeep
very
people.
much so.
There's Jeep people. They like to upgrade their Jeeps, and they like to upgrade it the way that they want, right?
Mm-hmm.
Harley people are the same way, and from what we have seen over the years, is just people going nuts, adding stuff, aftermarket speakers and radios. They want it as loud as they can get it.
Oh yeah.
From our point of view, it just made sense to focus on a specific type of motorcycle that a lot of people want to upgrade, whether it's their radio replacement or adding an amp, or like Gatlin was saying, lighting or bag lids or interferings if you have some of the older style motorcycles. So we're really excited to talk.
Radio replacement as well. Radio replacement. Don't forget about
that. Yeah, absolutely. So obviously we can't show the entire catalog. So I'm sure we got some key pieces we're going to focus on, starting with this right here.
Yeah. So a really neat piece. This is our app controlled RGB lighting kit, and it's our BC RGB-K1. And what this is an RGB 12 LED strip kit with controller. We can skew back. I think you guys over there have a controller to show, and if you don't, I got one here somewhere, right here. But this kit fits Harley-Davidson FLH and FLT with Tour Pack 1996 and up. And this kit, and so people are aware, this is a complete plug-and-play kit with OE connections. And what that means is that our end user can go ahead, buy this kit, and they can literally plug and play and mount these LED strips on the frame, on the handlebars, on you name it, underneath the fairings, and really do a good job of showing the lighting. And so it's a watertight connector. on all of the weather pack connections. Obviously, guys might get caught in the rain, or they might get caught, going through a storm and what have you. And so we want to make sure that their connections are nice and sealed and weatherproof. And it's a 50/50 LED strip with a black base. So obviously, on a lot of Harley-Davidson motorcycles, the majority of them are black framed, and so we want the lights to blend in nicely with the frame. And when they're not on, they can be kind of disguised. Also, they include a 3M adhesive backing, so they can be installed on the frame nice and clean. You don't have to use a bunch of zip ties. The 3M adhesive, I'm sure a lot of people have used the 3M products. They're awesome products as long as the surface is cleaned correctly with the surface prep. Those LED strips are not going anywhere. So obviously the RGB colors are all app controlled on the RGB Metra RGBW app that can get downloaded either from the App Store or on Android Play there. Again, trigger controls for brake and turn signals are also pre-wired. I think that Jason and Aaron there will give you a demo of all that stuff in just momentarily. But the kit includes a plug-and-play rear light T-harness, 1996 to 2013 8-pin OE plug, 10 to 13 6-pin OE plug, and a 14 and up 6-pin OE plug. And so this kit is very universal for all of the years, make, and models that range anywhere from 96 to current. So independent on-off switch for turn lights and ignition off. And of course, it includes those alcohol prep pads for the 3M adhesive backing in order to install those lights, and some zip ties for an added amount of security while you're going down the road there.
All right. So what do you have in front of you guys?
You gotta unmute them.
Yeah, we got you.
Muted?
Yeah, no, we got you.
Okay. So Gatlin mentioned this, but really what makes this product plug and play is, and why it covers such a wide range, is we've got different style T-harnesses that are included with the kit. So from 96 to 13, you have a 10 to 13 model, which that are specific models for Harley-Davidson. And then you have a 14 and up T-harness. So this is obviously the OE T-harness. And then this plug is universal and plugs into our pre-wired controller. Gatlin mentioned it was plug and play. The only wire that you have to connect is your constant wire. Ground, accessory, brake, and turn signal are all done through the T-harness. So what we've got set up over here, we're going to shut the lights off here, and we're going to show you guys what a setup this RGBK1 looks like. This is a 2016 Ultra Limited. It's got the full 12-piece LED strip on it, strip kit. The controller is located or is installed underneath the seat. And what we can do, Brandon, if you don't mind, let's grab that that
Camera.
this camera here. Pop these lights back on. We'll just very quickly show you guys. Obviously, this was an install that we did, still have to complete. But here is the RGB controller. Here is the T-harness. Plugs into our control box. The LED lighting strips are, like Gatlin said, 3M adhesive backed. And overall, the kit goes together pretty easily.
Yeah.
And the one thing that you do have to do is take off the gas tank, because you do have to run wires up that backbone. Gas tank is relatively easy to remove.
3 bolts, if I remember
yeah, it's
correctly.
like 4 bolts and a quick disconnect, like an air chuck. So, great kit. Obviously, it offers the customer that lighting and that safety that they're looking for.
And it's something you can sell to your customers if they're the DIY type, or if, again, talking about the +1, right? If you're doing other stuff to their bike like audio, quick and easy install for your installers.
That's right. That's right. So we're gonna see if we can do something here for you. I don't want to take up too much time. I know we got a lot to cover.
No. This is super cool. Let's keep going on this. I like this.
Give me a second here. We'll do.
And what I love about products like this for Harley is it's dual purpose, right? I mean, aesthetically super pleasing and fun, but visibility incredibly important for motorcyclists.
So what we're going to do is pull up the RGB app, and we're going to see if I can do this in front of the camera here.
There you go.
So if you can see that, we've got RGB app. It's connected to our motorcycle, and we can change all of these colors.
Look at that.
Patterns. This is rainbow, fire, water. And you'll notice that the globe reflects the color that is being produced by the LED lights. Not so much really a benefit on the motorcycle because you can obviously see it, but if you're in a car or something like that, you can always make sure what color you're actually seeing. So you've got different patterns up here where you can select the different colors. Changes, you can change the speed. Slow the speed down. Fade, where you can obviously change more colors as well. You got two options there. And then you have pulsating. Here is where you can control the triggers. So what we'll do is we'll go back to solid color. We'll pick blue. Here you can go in, turn your triggers on and off. The red and the orange are pre-wired. You can go back to groups. And now we're going to have to turn the ignition on for this one. But with your trigger setup, actually I've got the wrong color selected. So we'll select red for our first trigger. We'll go to groups. So now when I hit the brake, it changes.
Nice.
From whatever color you were set on to, red, or whatever color the customer would like. So there's, and obviously we have, I don't think the color is set up on the turn signals, but it'll obviously flash whatever color is selected through the app. So there's, it's a great piece. Again, this is something that we're excited about. We think it's going to do well overall for our customers and, distributors and, everybody in the Bay. So,
I mean, outside of the Reinhardt pipes and the Screaming Eagle engines, I think the first thing that consumers will do with their bikes is upgrade the lighting. They're always complaining about being seen. They want to be seen. They want to be, heard. And so, with that, this RGB lighting kit allows the end user an easy install, or a shop a very easy install. It's easy to stock. The box, as Jason has there in front of them, is very aesthetically pleasing to the eye. So if you keep that on a shelf inside of a shop, again, very universal, outside of the Harley-Davidson spectrum, ATVs, UTVs, golf carts, you name it, it can be used for that application as well.
Let's go to the video.
Hi, my name's Jason from Metra Electronics. Today I'd like to talk to you about some of the exciting products we have coming into the Saddle Tramp line. The part that we have laid out on the bench today is part number BC-RGB-K1. This is a 12-piece LED strip kit for motorcycles, specifically the Harley-Davidson models from 1996 all the way up to the latest 2021 models. The kit is designed for touring models, so vehicles with the tour packs, with the hard bag lids, typically your street glides, your road glides, electric glides, any kind of CVO or anything like that. The benefit behind this kit is it is all plug and play, not only for the RGBs, but also tapping into the OE connectors. The OE connectors that are usually found underneath the seats to tap into accessory, ground, brake, and turn signals. So we've got watertight connections that we incorporated through this entire harness. So I'm going to take just a few minutes and show you some of the key features about this specific kit. So the first connector I'd like to tell you about is the 4-pin Molex watertight connection we're using on our RGB strips. You can see they plug right into each other. LED strip lights up, and what is great about this kit is we've taken heat shrink labels and we've told the installer where these are going to be mounted. And on our harnessing that we provide, we give the other end. So basically you plug in the front fender LED to the front fender LED. It's just that easy. The next set of connectors I'd like to tell you about are the connections we're using to tap into brake signal, turn signal, power, and ground just by plugging in a T-harness into the bike. So we're using existing factory style connectors. This particular connector is for the 96 to 13 Harley-Davidsons. It's the 8-pin plug, and it goes to a 4-pin connection that is on our RGB controller. The next the next applications that we're covering with the connection is the FLH X and the FLH RX, which is the 10 to 13 models. This particular models came with a different style of connector. So we've got that pre-wired and ready to be plugged in. Then of course, we've got the 14 and up T-harness. So this is going to cover all of your touring models with a touring pack or without. So that'll be the connector of choice. Now another exciting feature that I'd like to tell you about is our switch that comes pre-wired with this entire kit. So this switch is going to allow you to turn on your RGB lights while the ignition is off. So you simply, when the bike is shut off, you got to sit in a parking lot, maybe you're in a restaurant getting something to eat, you want to leave the lights running, all you have to do is turn this switch on and go eat. Now, to show you exactly how inclusive this entire kit is, we've got an installation pack here. And what this has in it are zip ties. It has 3M adhesion promoter packs. And it also has alcohol prep pads, because these RGB strips have 3M adhesive backing on them. So we're providing you with all of the accessories and the components you're going to need to clean your motorcycle to make sure that these strips stick well. One of the other pieces that we have in the kit are the zip tie mounts. And where we're using these is on the saddlebag lids. So we've designed the kit and the saddlebag LED strip so that it is removable with the bag. You simply unplug the RGB strip, take the saddlebag off, and now you can maintenance your bike as you see fit. These zip tie holders will allow you to zip tie the RGB wire up the inside of the bag so that you don't have wires dangling down. Now the last and probably the most important component of this entire kit is going to be the RGB controller that we're including with the kit. It's going to use the Metra Electronics RGBW app. It can be found on the Android or the Apple Store. You simply connect to your RGB controller and select your color. You can also program your trigger colors, your brake and your turn signal trigger colors directly through the app. If you'd like more information on the app, we do have a video going through all the features and benefits of Metra's RGBW app. Now, some of the support accessories that we have for this kit are going to be just some Y harnesses, both the male and female terminals, and then also some pigtails with open-ended bare wires, so you can extend the kit or add in additional LED strips with little to no effort. So you can see from what we've shown you today that the Saddle Tramp line really is putting a focus on the installer, but also the consumer. making an app that's user-friendly, making a kit that's easy to install, and allowing the customer to have the accent lighting that they're looking for on whatever year range motorcycle that they have, 1996 all the way up to the latest 2021. For more information, you can always log on to metraonline.com and find out our full selection of all of our Saddle Tramp parts we have available.
I'll tell you what, I really like that guy that does those videos. He seems like he knows what he's talking about.
I think so too.
That's clearly too much screen time for me.
Quickly moving on to the next item here. Gatlin, set us up here.
All right. So, in conjunction with, our previous lighting RGB kit there, we're going to fork our way into the BC-BFKC front fork LED accent light kit. And this kit fits Harley-Davidson's 2014 FLH and 2015 and up FLT motorcycles. Red 2-stage LED light. This is a running light and a turn signal. It's painted vivid black to blend in quite nicely with the majority of our bikes. And I believe that this could also be painted to match your bike as well. Yeah, that can be perfect. There we go. It covers the factory axle nuts, creating a nice smooth look along the forks of the motorcycle there, hiding those axle nuts and just creating a nice clean look. And of course, all of the stainless steel mounting hardware is included. So if you guys live in a salty area, you're not going to be worrying about the hardware rusting or your investment flying off your bike. Secondary to that, we have a BC-SBMKL, and this is our saddlebag LED accent lights. And this again fits the Harley-Davidson FLH and FLT 2014 and up. And if you have a look there at the picture on the bottom right-hand corner there, it goes directly underneath of the saddlebag, points down toward your chrome pipes and the ground. And it is also painted vivid black and can be paint matched to match whatever color the bike might be. And it has white LEDs through a smoked lens. And this one also mounts using our famous 3M double-sided tape. And I believe in the kit it also includes the alcohol prep pads and adhesion promoter.
Now, I can only imagine outfitting with the RGB lighting kit that we just went through. Now, adding the fork lights and adding the saddle. I mean, you are a glowing Christmas tree rolling on two wheels. There's no question about it.
Shouldn't be a reason why they couldn't see you.
There's no reason whatsoever that you cannot be seen unless you're wearing a illegal pair of very dark sunglasses. Jay and Aaron, why don't you shed some light on the ideas behind these type of products? I mean, obviously it's pretty self-evident, but they're pretty cool because they're form-fitted.
They are. I look at the RGB lights. Yes, it can be looked at as a safety product, right? Motorcycles, they're dangerous. I mean, they got nothing between you and the road, really. So you want to have as many lighting options as possible. And what we've got to do is, at least what I do and what Aaron looks at and what he does is, there's a certain type of customer that wants RGB lighting. Then there's a certain type of customer that wants accent lighting. Right. They don't need all the flashy patterns and everything else like that. So what these products do is, a couple different things. I mean, they do offer additional safety by making you more visible, but they also allow you to customize your bike to the way that you want. Yeah. So if you want RGB, you get RGB. If you want just normal accent running lights, you get that too.
Well, like we were talking about earlier, first thing you do is change your pipes, and one of the easiest mods are these external lighting. They're really easy to install, and it's just a good entry point. Because like you were saying, not everybody wants RGB. Like me, I'm kind of one color guy on my bikes. Yeah. So, it's a good piece. It does add that bit of safety, but it's to go right along with the pipes. So the shop stone pipes can throw these right on there.
And what's also great, I mean, these are hardwire options. So within the instructions, we're actually telling you what wires to tap into on the front of the bike for the fork covers, and in the back of the bike for the saddlebag accent lights. So should make it relatively straightforward.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool. Well, let's go to the video and see what else we can learn.
Hi, Jason from Metra Electronics. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the Saddle Tramp products that we have coming into the line this year. Saddle Tramp has really exploded over the last couple of years, and we put a lot of focus and effort into the development and to the design of the products that we put into that line. That line is designed to help you either grow into a different avenue of business or maybe help expand or build on the business that you already have. So these two products that we have this year are just to help you do that, maybe to offer a little bit more features to your customers when they come into your shops. So let's get into it. Now the first part I'd like to tell you about is a Forkini lower fork cover. This is part number BC-BFKC. It is it's a cover for the factory bolts and the axle nut on your 2014 to 2016 Harley-Davidsons. It is pre-wired with two lighting options and features. So when wiring these up, you have two options. You can operate it as a running light. You can operate it as a brake light. The running light is not as intense as the brake light. Or you could wire it into your Harley-Davidson's turn signals. So you can get that red flash, just that added safety or the broadcast to the vehicles around you that you are turning or that you are stopping. It's got plenty of wire on it. It's got about 3 feet of wire, so it can go up into the fairing where you can tap into those wires if you choose to. Comes with the mounting hardware that you're going to need to get these installed. It's going to replace the hardware used to attach the fender to the front wheel. And it is going to cover up that axle nut. It's painted vivid black, red LED accent lights, and it'll make a great addition to any motorcycle as it goes down the road. So accessory lighting is always a benefit, especially when you're riding a motorcycle. So the next part I'd like to tell you about is part number BC-SBMKL. And these are saddlebag accent lights. They attach underneath the factory saddlebags of touring models. It's got to be the hard saddlebags for your Harley-Davidson. And they have two strips or two rows of white LEDs in each frosted lens. So you can see it gives a nice glow, a nice even glow that will shine underneath your bag lids, just making you that more visible while you're riding. Our I-Beam line is all about vehicle safety, and our Saddle Tramp line and the lighting accessories that we have within that line are just as important for motorcycle safety. So if you'd like more information on the items that we have within the Saddle Tramp line, you can visit metraonline.com, find the Saddle Tramp catalog, and browse through all of our parts.
Again, can't say enough about that presenter dude. I like him.
Yeah, Paul Rudd, watch out.
I'm tired of hearing him.
Moving on swiftly, gentlemen, to the next slide.
Okay, so moving on now more into the integration side of Saddle Tramp outside of the LED lighting. I mean, if you guys have an opportunity, of course, to view our website at metraonline.com and go on the catalog and click the Saddle Tramp catalog, you will see several pages of lighting, all the way from the Forkinis that you just saw on the last video to the RGB lighting kit, of course, all the way to, you know, handlebar end lighting. The lighting possibilities, let's just put it this way, are kind of endless. There's endless opportunities for lighting. So now we're getting into more of the integration and adding on audio to your motorcycle, Harley-Davidson. And to begin with, we have our lower fairing Y harness. After that, we have our saddle speaker harness. Those come in pairs. And then below that, we have our Tour Pack plug-and-play rear speaker harness. And what these harnesses do, and their purpose, is to help you extend and add on the speakers into the saddlebag covers using your OE or existing factory audio system without having an amplifier. And when you do have an amplifier, it also makes a nice streamlined, clean install of your rear speaker harnessing. More Harley-Davidsons, they don't have an abundance of room either behind the fairing or along the backbone, as Jason mentioned earlier in the last segment, by removing that gas tank on the motorcycle. So we've created all of these harnesses here to help install your either lower fairing speaker pods and or your Saddle Tramp bag lids, and it just makes it a nice seamless backbone install. Each of these harnesses, the BC 9722, the BC 9723, and the BC 9727, they all will T-harness into each other and make a nice streamlined installation. And I think that Jason has some of the products right there in front of him, so he can quickly show us.
Yeah, I think that getting audio, upgrading your audio throughout the motorcycle is incredibly important. And to know that there are plug and play options out there as the installer or as a distributor to offer it to your shops is important. So the harnesses that you just mentioned, not all motorcycles come with saddlebag lids or saddlebag speakers. So either you have an option of upgrading that from the factory or you have an option of doing aftermarket. Well, our business is aftermarket. So in order to get that audio signal from the front, whether you're going to keep the factory radio or replace it with an aftermarket radio, you got to be able to get that audio back there. Sometimes the wires aren't included from the factory. So we've got extension harnesses. This is the BC 9720 that carries that audio signal from the front of the motorcycle all the way back down the backbone to underneath the seat. Once you're underneath the seat, we provide you with Y harnesses. This is a Y harness for connections underneath your seat. So you can split that audio signal off. Now, obviously, we have to take into account the ohm load that you're putting on the amplifier. And in most cases, the amplifier in these types of installations is installed underneath the fairing. So, and then let's say that you're going to put in some saddlebag speakers. Wrong harness here. That's the BC 9723. And so we have, again, a connector that plugs into that OE, that either the OE harness or our aftermarket Y harness, goes to some quick disconnects that are weather resistant, down through and into the saddlebag with the supplied grommet. So you can carry audio and get audio directly into your saddlebags, whether you're adding aftermarket or some other brand. So getting audio into the areas that is typically difficult, you definitely want to have a plug and play harness. Now, one more thing I will say before we go back over to Gatlin is our harnesses are pinned the same as the OE locations. Okay? So if your vehicle, your motorcycle, already comes with a backbone installed from the factory, our harness will plug into it, and you don't have to worry about depinning or having things out of phase or anything like that. So we match the factory wiring.
Very sweet. Oh,
Yeah.
One there.
They're great accessories for sure.
There was another slide that's actually, it's a two-parter because there are so many of these accessories, and Jay just touched on them, but we're just going to go ahead for the record so people can screen capture this or what they need to do. If you don't mind, Gatlin.
Yeah. So the first one here is our BC 9714. That's the front speaker pod harness pair. And again, it's an OE style front speaker pod harness with overmolded grommets. So you can install those in the front speaker pods. Below that, again, talking about our integration piece with the Axis line, our AX DSPX. And this is a DSPX and add an amp universal harness. And so what this does again, is a OE plug style radio and fairing harness that is designed to be used with our AX-DSP XWR, and the WR is our water resistant housing. There is some videos on our YouTube channel and our website to show you the water resistant DSP, but it's pre-wired for the AX-DSP WR input and output side. The harness is included, provides a terminated input and output wires, and RCA output harnesses are included. Pre-wired rear speaker output used with the BC9720, which was shown previous there. And again, that's below there. Shows the FLH and the FLT 1998 to 2020 Harley-Davidsons. 4-pin backbone harness for adding rear speakers, 18-gauge OFC wires, and OE connectors again. And as shown from Jason there, the BC9721, the rear speaker 3-way harness splitter. And again, that just allows you to split the rear audio into plugs that plugs into the OE backbone harness or the BC9720.
All right.
So, go ahead.
My name's Jason from Metra Electronics. I'm going to be talking to you today about the Saddle Tramp line. We've got a bunch of new harnesses coming out this year, and I'd like to just take a few minutes to kind of give you a rundown of what these harnesses can do for you when you're working on motorcycles. The first one that I want to talk about and show you, what we're working on right now is a 2015 Harley-Davidson Road Glide. And this particular bike obviously has a factory radio. It's got some factory speakers up here in the front, but it doesn't have any speakers in the rear. From factory, Harley is pre-wired for rear speakers, but it doesn't give you that backbone harness to take you from the front of the bike down to the back of the bike or underneath the seat. So one of the first harnesses that we decided to make was Harley-Davidson backbone harness. So you can take the BC-9720 and it's pinned to match factory polarity, and you can plug it in. I've already run it down the backbone of the motorcycle. You are going to have to remove the gas tank, and it dumps the other end of the connector out underneath the seat. We've got some other harnesses that I'll show you in a minute that allow you to split that signal off underneath the seat to feed stuff like bag lids or some of the tour pack lids that we offer. So we'll show you those a little bit later. The next one I want to show you is BC-9722. And this is a great option for extending the front wires, the front speaker wires, down to lower fairing speaker pods, like on your crash bars. And this is also another item that we offer in the Saddle Tramp line. So this, again, is just plug and play. It's color-coded, white, black. So this would be the left-hand side. So up here, just unplug this harness, plug our T-harness in, and now you can run this speaker wire down to your crash bar location, wire up a set of speakers, and get some additional front audio. So we have left and right options for those. Great little option for tapping into speaker signal. That's the BC-9722. Now, one of the other harnesses that we're really excited about is our BC-9715. What this harness is going to do is going to give a lot of flexibility to the installer. So this harness is going to be used when you want to retain your factory radio. And what we're going to start off with is we have an input and output harness. So we can disconnect the factory radio, plug our aftermarket BC-9715 into the vehicle's wiring harness, and then plug the other end into our factory radio. And what this is going to do for us is we're basically splitting the audio out of the radio and then out to the speakers. We're splitting it into two. We're splitting it into an input side and an output side. And the sole purpose of this is to add aftermarket amplifiers, and we've made it incredibly easy for you to work with multiple amplifier manufacturers. On the input side of this harness, we're providing pre-terminated wires, and we are including the Molex 4-pin connectors that you commonly see on aftermarket amplifiers. So depending on your polarity of the aftermarket amplifier that you're choosing, you can pin for your amplifier as you see fit. Gives you a lot of flexibility, gives you a lot of options. If you don't have any, if it's a hardwire input, you just cut these off, strip them in, slide them into your input side of the amplifier. So very easy. We also offer in this BC 9715 kit RCAs. So you can take your Molex connector, you can pin your speaker leads to match our RCAs. Now you have an RCA input into any aftermarket amplifier. So it kind of makes it's easy, it's more universal, and it gives the installer a lot of installation options. Let's say you want to add even more flexibility to the motorcycle, options to your customer. We have pre-wired into our BC-9715 an input harness for the AX DSP line. This is the 20-pin plug that you get with the AX DSP. On this particular piece, we've got the overmolded grommet for the WR version, the water-resistant version of our AX DSP. So, and this is, you would use this harness or this DSP in place of your other input wires. So it really comes down to one or the other. We tried to give you as much choice and flexibility as possible. So we've got the two overmolded grommets into place. We plug our DSP board in. Slide it into our water resistant case and snap it in. Now we've got a full 31 band graphic equalization, all the standard features that you would find in the DSP. You set up and control it via Bluetooth. You can always check the Access website or the Saddle Tramp website for more details. But now, again, we have our output side of our DSP, which goes into the input side of your aftermarket amplifier. And again, we're providing you with all of the Molex connectors you need to pin it to match your amplifier's input. So makes it real easy, makes it real simple. And of course, the kit obviously includes Molex to RCA if you need to get that into your amplifier as well. So again, a lot of different options. We try to make everything as easy and as flexible as possible for you. So now we're going to be talking about the output side of the harness of the BC-9715. We've already gone over all the input options, the different ways that you can use it. So now we're going to talk a little bit about output. In the BC series, in the BC line, anytime we're going to be dealing with this type of installation, whether it's a DSP, adding an amplifier, we're going to have designated colors for input and designated color for output. Input is going to be the neutral or clear. Output is going to be black. And they're both the 4-pin Molex. So on the output side, again, because of variations of aftermarket amplifiers, we're providing this to you unpinned. So you can either go cut these ends off, go directly to your amplifier, or if your amplifier has a Molex plug, you can pin it and plug it right into the aftermarket amp. Now you'll notice that we have this broken up here. We have everything labeled with heat shrinks. So this is amplifier output, rear speakers, amplifier output, front speakers. So even though this bike did not come with a pair of front speakers, because we have our BC-9720 backbone harness plugged into the factory rear speakers, all we have to do is throw a pair of bag lids in there with a pair of speakers and we have audio. Now, one of the other harnesses that we are providing is for adding an amplifier to the back of the motorcycle. Sometimes, usually, the amplifiers are installed underneath the radio using our BC-Amp 04, and I'll show you guys that in a minute. But every once in a while, we need to have an additional amplifier in the back, whether it's in the tour pack or maybe the saddlebag. And getting an input signal back there can be difficult sometimes. So we have provided with the BC9715 an additional harness that will allow you to add amplifier into the bag lid or the tour pack using the BC-9720. So this is real easy. Again, you come to your input side. Now, whether it's an input from the output side of the DSP or directly from the radio, either one will work. You can, because we have the Molex here, Molex plugs, I can pin them accordingly. And now I've got the connector that will plug directly into our BC-9720. This will carry the input signal back to underneath the seat, and then we have additional harnessing that you can use to split that signal off and drop your amplifier in the back. You have your input. So again, try to be as universal as possible. Overall, a very flexible harness, and it's going to be huge value in the bay. So we'll go through, we'll show you some other stuff that we've got going on. I'm going to drop in the BC-Amp 04 into the location that it's designed to go, and we'll show you that in just a second. So here I've got in my hand is our BC-Amp 04. This is for the 2014 and up road glides, and the purpose of the mounting location of this amplifier bracket and amp is right underneath the factory radio. So we'll remove that factory radio. We have our amp mounted to the board. It's got that crinkle coated texture on it. And I obviously still have to wire the amplifier up, but I wanted to go ahead and show you guys how this thing slid in. So it's going to take some work getting it in there. Okay, so you got to maneuver it, slide it up and down, and you'll know it's in when you can see the bolt holes line up. So we've got provisions for the factory radio's bolt pattern. We've got provisions in the amplifier bracket for these holes. So now we've got now you got to pick up some 1/4-20 bolts, and you thread the bolts in through the side panel. We'll get this harness out of the way, kind of free up a little bit more space, and we can thread the 1/4-20 bolt into the welded nut on the amp bracket. And we can go ahead and tighten those down. You'll need 4 1/4-20 thread bolts. Ones I'm using are 3/4 inch long. You can probably get away with 1/2 inch. So once we have that in, we can take the radio, mount it back into place, bolt the radio in, and wire up our amplifier. And with our BC-9715, that's going to go really quick. Everything will plug and play, give us a lot of installation options. So now we're going to take you to the center of the bike underneath the seat, and we're going to show you some of the options that we have back there for harnessing. So our BC-9720, the 4-pin plug, this is where it ends up. So we ran it down from the front of the fairing, underneath the gas tank, through the plastic channeling that the OE wires fit in. It's a little tight, I recommend removing the gas tank definitely, but all in all, you can get it through. One of the next harnesses that we have is a BC-9721. And you can obviously see what this is, right? This is a splitter. So this plug plugs right into the BC-9720 or the factory Harley backbone harness that might have been in this bike had it had rear speakers. And what this is going to do, this is going to allow you to split off that signal from that amplifier up front. And we've got a couple different options that are available to use or to fill up these three pigtails. First one I'm going to talk about is the BC-9727. Now, this harness is for motorcycles with tour packs. If this had a tour pack, the tour pack would be right about here. And we do, in the Saddle Tramp line, sell tour pack lids for 6x9s for 96 to 13 and then 14 and up. This one would obviously be a 14 and up. So we developed a harness that's going to get you that audio, the wiring, the signal to those speakers. So we're going to we would plug this right in. Again, everything kind of plugs into each other. You would basically take this up and bring it into your tour pack on the side. And what we've got is an overmolded grommet here so that you pop a hole in your tour pack, feed this through. Obviously it snaps in with the grommet, making a watertight seal. And then you have enough length to open that tour pack lid and not put any kind of strain on these wires. So obviously you have shorter one for the left side, but a longer one for the right side when the tour pack is lifted. So that's a really handy harness. It'll get you that audio in there really quick and really easy. Next harness we have is a BC-9723. And what this harness is a saddlebag harness for the speakers. So you got a pair of saddlebag speakers, you got maybe some of our 6x9 bag lids or dual 6x9 bag lids. Again, makes it real easy. Plug it into that bypass. You have your heat shrunk labels. One that says the brake side, which would be this side of the bike. The other one says the clutch side, this side of the bike. So one of the other things that comes in this kit is a grommet. It's a flexible grommet, so you can pop a hole in your saddlebag and make sure that you have that kind of watertight connection. So you can go around the outside of the plug, throw some tape on it, and now you can feed your audio directly into your saddlebag lid. You need to disconnect it, make a quick disconnect. You can unplug it depending on where you put the grommet. Maybe the grommet comes out with it. So the reason why we have the plug in the grommet is to make it as easy as possible, as flexible as possible. We know that you guys are going to be taking these bag lids on and off to clean your bike, maybe to have a different look, but we want to make it easy. So you just unplug it, take the bag lid with the speakers, and you're ready to go. One of the things that we put a lot of focus on this year was, again, cutting down on installation time, cutting down on guessing what wires do what, having to look through Harley-Davidson service to figure out your wiring schematics and everything else like that. We've done all that work for you.
All right. I like that guy.
I know. I like that guy too. You know, he really, puts all the information into a nice little packlet there. And, we're getting close to the end of the podcast for the Saddle Tramp brand, but I just wanted to kind of reiterate the fact that there are so many options available from us here at Saddle Tramp, Metra, for, the end user, the installer, to have a complete solution, everything from lighting, headlights, taillights, interconnects, DSPs, radio replacements. And I can't, encourage everyone enough to go on our website, www.metraonline.com, click that catalog icon at the top there, and just really take a look at all of the different options that are available for the installer.
Just watching that video and going through what we did in this session would give me, if I was a dealer, confidence to get into that Harley-Davidson circle and be able to offer those type of products and services. You're looking at here, this are the digits right here. Get a hold of Gatlin if you're a Canadian dealer interested in any of these great Metra brands. And in this particular session, of course, we're talking about Saddle Tramp. Team Metra, can't thank you enough. We're going to see you on the other side when we get into some Heist LED and some Daytona lighting.
Thank you very much, Ben. I appreciate it. We'll see you soon.
All right. Take care, guys. There you have it, guys. Saddle Tramp in the bank. If you're looking at Harley-Davidson customers, certainly a complete lineup with all the integration tools, accessories, lighting, RGB. Shout out to Jay and Aaron for that cool RGB lighting demo. That wraps it up for this session for day 4 here at CMA Industry Week as we continue showcasing Metra. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.